Don't.
Yes, assuming that Red wants to get in their column.
Firing range there.
Oh,
If you don't mind me calling you
but
sister.
that's not man.
That's where it's so important.
No.
Superb. Cheers, guys.
If you get that, if you know who sister.
Hey, Red.
All right, guys.
No.
Squad column red. Red first, blue following.
Squad column, red first, blue last.
Walking base.
Okay, blue guy between the red team. Go a bit behind.
I'm not sure why he's back here. Cal, move up.
Let's move to the middle one.
Yeah.
We're just we should be in between the grenadier and the outward where FPS. Just get closer to him here. Now we're
Full squad circle, guys. Squad circle up front. Yodi squad circle.
Guys, circle up to my right.
Circle up here, guys.
A team on my left, B team on my right. Line.
To my right. Right side. Right here, Coop.
Guys, let's do this pretty quickly. Everybody
You're
just
right, right.
keep
Come on,
move,
right
move
here.
over here. We need to
Right
get
here.
this done fast.
I will be in a second.
Guys, the faster we do this, the more time we have to shoot. We don't have to be exact. So just get the fuck over here and get in the school circle.
We're done.
Alright.
Move a bit closer, guys.
Everybody get into a school circle up here. Let's go. Alright, so the first technique that we're going to go over is called the shuffle, or some people call it a slide. I've heard it called a shift. It's not really a shift because shift is used to shift fire on things. But generally call it a shuffle. And the actually, if I could ask the instructors to run up to the line here, and you'll help demonstrate with Mark's squad. What's going to happen is a shuffle is shifting, so you're facing the exact same direction, but you are shifting laterally to the left or right while you are engaging. So you are going to be moving your position while you are maintaining two guns on target. So this is a buddy team. This is kind of how you use your buddy team. So one buddy team will be firing while the next buddy team falls back behind them. You can do it either in 2x2 or you can do it each individual person. So what I'm going to do right here is, if I'm going to have one fire team with Mark's squad do it 2x2 and the other fire team is going to do it single. So why don't you have your A fire team is going to stay up on the line while B fall back a little bit. You'll be doing the 2x2. So A fire team,
B team off. A team disperse. Increase dispersion.
no, you're gonna keep it pretty tight. This is fine where you are right now.
Well,
so what's
sure,
going to happen here is that you are in a tight situation. There are enemies that are beginning to flank you, and you need to move. You need to move while maintaining a base of fire, which means that which one is the A team and which one is the B team?
A team's to the left.
Okay, this is the A team. All right. B, this is B. Who's the team lead for B?
Deathway.
Okay, Deathway. You need to pull your guys off the line. A team, why do you not have 4 people?
One of them just discord.
Yeah.
Fashim. You're standing in.
Fashim, okay. What? I still don't understand. I asked for one team up and one team behind.
Yeah. So B team, you're off the line. Fashim, stand in. For the missing,
Fashim, over on
rifleman.
me. Fashim, could you get to my position? Okay, you're going to be standing here, and what we're going to do here is you're going to go one by one. You're going to shuffle to the right. So what you're going to do is everybody's going to, at a low rate of fire,
Pay
everybody's
attention,
going to
guys,
start
so we will
engaging,
not fuck up like that.
and then you're going
Then
to
shut up.
call that you're coming behind, and you'll say shifting, moving behind, and you will move down to here and start engaging down here so the next person can run. I'll do it a little in a slow motion actual firing here. So okay, so contact front. Shifting, moving right. Shifting, moving right. Okay, so that's how we do it. Come on, keep moving. Let's go. Try to shoot in first. Because you're the automatic rifleman. Now it's on your turn. Keep that fire up. Make sure that you're not while your friend is moving, Fashim, do you even have a mic? No, he doesn't. Delightful. Enix, let's go. There we go, there we go. Come on.
Enix, set.
Ball shifting.
Okay, cut it. Ceasefire. Okay, that was a little sloppy, but I'll tell you the things that we did wrong, the things that we did right. You correctly moved, you correctly kind of shuffled down the road there, but your rate of fire, you have to keep in mind when you are a part of a fire team. I have 3 other guys who are going to be moving while I'm engaging, which means that you need to make sure you watch your ammo consumption so that you are not left reloading while your buddy is moving and you need to start engaging. This is more important when you do it 2 by 2, which is a quicker way to do things. So that's the concept here. I'm talking. Talk. Everyone needs to communicate where they're going and how they're doing it. That is a big thing. Okay, any questions on the 1 by 1 before we move on? Alright, none. Okay, so your B team, I believe, whoever is the leader of the B team, Mark, is going to do that. And now we're going to do it 2 by 2. And Mark, if you'll help me demonstrate this real quickly, we'll go down here.
Sure. Deathway, you're up. B team for now. A team off the wall.
So what's going to happen in a 2 team, and we'll do this without firing, is that in a 2 by 2 scenario, this is a quicker way to deal with this. 2 people will be on the line to the left. They'll begin engaging, bang, 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 bang. I'm firing. And then I'm going to fall back at the same time.
Enix,
the 2
Panic,
people farthest
Grady,
left
are
on the
you?
line. So I'll say, up, shuffling right. Both people will move at the same time while 2 stay there. And then we'll be back to engage, and then you will go. Okay? So do you think you're going to be... You can deal with that, Deathway?
Yeah.
Alright, let's get you guys up on the line and working.
You're in. Fashim. You're up.
Okay. Why don't you take it? Live fire. Gotta make it loud. Gotta make that loud.
Everybody's about to shuffle. Oh my god.
Moving. There's contact coming from the left. Come on, go.
What the?
Deathway, you were way late on that, so keep moving. Come on, guys. You can do the whole thing. Let's go. Watch reload while you move, boys. Reload while you move. Alright, here we go. Come on. Alright, you're doing this. Ceasefire.
You gotta call it out, man.
Ceasefire. Chilling. You did not talk once. You gotta watch that because he was moving, you were moving when he was not. This is a 2 by 2 formation. It is quick because you're able to move 2 people at once, you're able to keep moving, and you gotta watch your fire. It's a little bit more complicated, it's easier to move, especially if you're under lighter fire. Okay, so that's shuffling, pretty self-explanatory. You just move down the line while you continue your fire towards one direction. This is an easy way because we have a wall to simulate where that line is, but in the real life you might be bounding between cover, you might be moving around on the primary while you're doing this. So just kind of, this is the basic level. You'll be taking it a little bit more complicated later. Alright, so the next concept, and it's a difficult, or it's a significantly more important one, so thanks B team here. Why don't you fall back to the school circle. It's a more important one, or well, at least a hell of a lot more used, is called bounding. And bounding is used inside fire teams and outside fire teams to ensure that one group or one buddy team or one fire team is always engaging or having overwatch, that is looking towards where a threat may be or may be expected and engaging while others move. Now, that is overwatch or engaging. If you are in contact and you need to bound, that means that one group, whichever section is holding while the other bounds, is going to be firing, covering them while they move. If you are just expecting contact or moving through hostile territory, that is going to be just watching that direction, not actually engaging or suppressing. Okay, we got that concept. So what we're going to do for that is I'm going to take the instructors here, if I can get all of my instructors, we're going to do a little demo run here. And what we're going to do is, where is that going to be good for bounding here? It's a little bit, I think we're going to have to bring everybody up to the car. Okay. Squad leads, I'm going to have you, as we're going to step off up past the car, I'm going to have you bring everybody short of the car. So form up the school circle / line again, short to the southwest of the red car.
Okay guys, we are all moving too close to the car there, just before the red
On
car.
me to the right.
Stand again, school circle.
Okay, so we're just going to start from the car, we'll start moving. And,
School circle.
why don't we get the,
With a
I'll just go with Zoomork,
Don't need to be up on the
Godhand,
car.
Remen, go. So, what we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate this within a fire team. My battle buddy is Zoomork, and Godhand's battle buddy is Remen. So what we're going to do is, by teams, we're going to bound up through these cover, and so they understand this too. We're just going to make probably 3 or 4 bounds. Our target is going to be the BDRM wreck, so you can see the BDRM wreck. So that's where we're going to move to, and we're going to do that by moving in sync. We are not going to be under fire, so we're just covering as they move. It's a pretty basic demonstration.
Okay.
All right. One team has cover. Go.
2-team bounding.
Okay. Bounding. Let's bound up to the fucking sandbags to the left.
Okay, one team up. Go. Hesco to the right. We'll go over that in addition to actual bounding when you're not under fire. Okay, so it's pretty easy to see the concept there. One half of the fire team is covering, while the other half of the fire team begins to moves towards their target. So you can see how we were ready for enemy contact to pop out. Instead of all being surprised as one force moving towards it, we were able to react quickly and effectively if enemy contact were to pop out, and we would engage. Okay? You understand that concept there? All right.
Is this any particular type of bounding that was going on right now?
That was fire team.
Inside the fire team. If you want to, yeah, you can do it. You could do it. That was, you know, more inside of a fire team bounding, but you can do it inside of a squad where one fire team is covering the other. You can do it inside of a platoon where one squad covers the other. That concept of bounding is used in 2 senses. We are going to, I think actually if instructors, I think we'll do a live fire.
It probably means also, there's also 2 types of bounding that are commonly referenced as successive and alternate bounding, where one you just bound on the same height with the other team that is at the front, and then the other one you actually overtake the team, so you make more way in faster amount of time. So basically you're sacrificing a little security for speed when you bound.
Generally, again, this is more fire team level or squad leaders level concepts, but I discourage short bounds and I discourage bounds to the middle of fucking nowhere. And you move from cover to cover other people. We're gonna do this under fire. So actually, if I could get, actually no, we'll just pretend there's fire. We won't do it. We'll do the same teams again, but what we're gonna do is short, rapid bounds to make sure that one target is under suppression the whole time. The target that we're going to be aiming at is going to be that BDRM again, but we're not going to be bounding quite so far. We'll probably just bound as far as the HES goes. So if we want to get ready here, just the same 2 fire teams, and if you guys want to kick off, yeah, to that rusty truck, Remen. Remember to communicate when you're bounding. You'll say bounding or set over the radio. So if you're all on channel 1, you'll be able to hear it. All right. Contact front, BDRM, MG, press now, let's move.
Team 1 down. Team 1 set. Team 2 bounding.
That's what I'm talking about.
Team 1 back.
150 meters running.
Team 1 set.
You're advancing into the
Team 2 bounding. Team 2 set. Team 1 bounding.
I'm just referring to if there's cover. Usually bound to that.
Team 1 set.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
Let me hang out with the crew.
Ceasefire, ceasefire.
As you see, all instructors have their own opinion about how much should they bound.
yeah, you'll get different things from different squad leaders.
Okay, so you guys can see how we always were keeping 2 guns suppressing the target while the others moved on. So that was keeping them under wraps, pinned down behind cover until we could move forward to actually destroy them either with grenades or by jumping over the edge of their bunker or whatever fortification it was. So you guys can understand that concept of bounding. So what I'm going to ask is, Louise, if you could get your squad up. We're going to do this a little bit more complicated. We're going to do a squad level bounding, so fire teams are going to be the lower level units here. And I'd like you to just, without firing, move up to the bunker to our northeast. Do you see that? Past the BRDM?
Yep.
Okay, why don't you get your guys organized up at the red car and then take it out.
Right, guys, we're forming a line here, facing northeast, red on the right, green on the left.
Green on the left, northeast line.
Taco, get on my left side. Get Rex car.
Stand by for movement. We'll be bounding in fire teams to the bunker, roughly 200 meters northeast of us. Red team will be the first to bound, while green team covers. Blade, move when ready.
Got it. Red team, move forward.
Bang, bang, bang.
Red team set.
Green team bounding.
What? No.
Now, their speed was not completely incorrect. Make sure you keep it your tempo up if it demands it. But, you know, a couple second lag is fine.
Red bounding.
There, that's fine. But remember, if you're actually assaulting something, you might want to keep your tempo up. It all depends on the situation. That's what I'd like you to develop when you're on the actual primary. When is try and understand what the situation requires. Just think about what you will need to do in any situation. So just keep that in your mind.
Green set. Red moving.
What? Yes, I can hear you.
One section ceasefire. Red set. Alright, let's return. Return back to the red car here.
Okay, so that's bounding at a squad level, and you can see that it allows them to keep that under suppression or covered while one team moves forward. Alright, that's the idea. Godhand, you had something?
Yeah. Some of you guys noticed before when we were doing a bounding under contact that we did some very short bounds. That's something called, also called fire team rushing. Essentially, that's a way of making sure you don't get shot as you move across the open ground, because obviously it doesn't take long for a good shot to acquire a target. There are some rules of thumb in many militaries that says that that a good, decent marksman should have 3 to 4 seconds before he can acquire you and hit you. So that's the time you have to move before you should be down into a cover again as you move. So that's something called fireteam rushing. Fireteam rushing is based off a very simple concept that you're lying down and you're told to rush or told to bound in this case. And the time you want to bound is basically the time it takes you to run 3 seconds. So that's based off a rule that's called I'm up, he sees me, I'm down, which goes like this. Bounding, I'm up, he sees me, I'm down. You shouldn't make longer bounds than that if you're really under contact, if people are really shooting at you, because if you run longer than that, you can be pretty much sure that the guy on the other end can acquire you and hit you. But if you keep popping up and down, he'll have a harder time hitting you. Make sense?
Yeah,
Okay, so
use
this
in open areas.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. Now, I'll teach this more in the fire team level course, but doing that over an open area where an enemy has Overwatch is highly... Do not do that, because they will just be able to pick you off. But if you have more numbers, if there was only one guy down there, you will want to... So if there's only one guy down there, if you have the numbers to suppress them, that's ideal. That's what you want to do. But make sure that you're not doing these tiny bounds and it takes 12 hours to cross an open area. That's a more higher level concept, but your squad leader will be able to tell you how he wants you to move.
Be advised, this is if you need to get out of a position where you're suppressed and you don't want to get shot running away.
That as well. We'll deal with that later. Okay, so what we are also going to do, and this is probably going to... Oh no, we have a little bit more time. All right, so we're going to do... The other concept is Overwatch or Base of Fire. So the generally you'll hear this a lot, especially when you're moving around people at a squad level, which is, okay, 1-2 is on Base of Fire while 1-1 makes the actual assault into the objective. But this can be done on a fire team level as well, where we could set up someone at one of the sandbags right up here. You can set up your AR and your Grenadier, say, to suppress a target while your team leader and your riflemen run around on a flanking mission or move between targets, move between cover to get to the position. So that's when you're doing a base of fire inside the fire team level. Now there are other ones where you have people on a base of fire inside your squad, where one of your squads is going to be, so one squad is not bounding, or one fire team is not bounding, the other fire team is inside the squad. They are moving forward while you hold back and provide a base of fire. That base of fire means that you are either putting suppressive fire continuously onto the target, or are keeping an overwatch on where targets may pull out. So that's kind of, the overwatch is more, I am watching, if he pops his head up, I'll shoot him, or I'm watching where targets may be. If they come into view, I will shoot them. Base of fire is more, I am going to actively suppress those targets and keep their heads down so that the maneuver element can actually get into position and close. Do I have, before we do a little bit more of a significant exercise, do I have any questions about bounding, shuffling, or base of fire? Any questions whatsoever?
I got a question.
Yes.
Wait, so basically, I'm in a fire team. My squad leader tells to me, bound towards the front bunker, as example. But sometimes he doesn't mean bounding. He just means move towards the bunker. Can you?
Well, then that's the squad leader's fault to not actually say that.
I want to know how
as a squad leader, your responsibility is to tell your men to do the correct thing. If he tells you to bound, you need to assume that that is what he wants you to do and actually bound. Now, the squad leader should say, okay, you know, A team or red team, you're moving first, blue team, you're moving second, that kind of thing. Good squad leaders will pick out key terrain for you to move to and around. But if that is not provided, do it at the fire team level. Figure it out yourself. That's more fire team leaders.
Yeah, because it's not possible to bound when not under contact, right? Or
no, it's very possible to bound.
Yeah?
It's possible to bound everywhere.
Yes.
Stupid.
Whenever someone is covering your movement, you're bounding.
Exactly. Whenever there is another unit that is a maneuver unit that is covering your movement, you are bounding. So, you know, as long as it's all one, not everyone moving at the same time, you're generally bounding. So that's the concept of Overwatch there. Now, what I am going to, okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to take 1 squad and 3 squads. So that should be Louise and John Anderson. John, your squad is going to be moving. Louise, your squad is going to be base of fire. And your target is going to be the tank out there to the northeast at, from my position, exactly 40. Yeah, actually, yeah, if we can get that little bunker stuff, that would be great. If we could put
about
him...
the tank-like target, right?
No, I think we're actually going to spawn something in there to deal with it. If you can actually put it out farther north, so not actually on the range, and I'm going to move these guys into the actual middle of the range.
Bang, bang, bang.
So if we could do that.
He's way northeast of the range right now. And I'm pretty sure he didn't hear most of that. Because he already teleported away.
Whatever. Radio in.
Oh, that is quite a nice bunker.
Alright, so that's what we're talking about. That's perfectly fine. Okay, so, Mark, if you want to take your guys over to the right just so that they can observe.
2 squad.
I killed him! Alright, contact front. I need 1st and 2nd squad. Move up to the sandbags in front of me. 3rd squad, get ready to move in.
Give 1 squad line
right. Let's go.
3rd squad, on me. Right squad,
1 squad moving.
Red team right.
Red team left, blue team right.
Red team left.
3 squad, we're moving out to the right.
Bono, shifting.
What the hell?
So I'm not hearing anything.
Blue team, start moving to the right of red team. Start moving now.
Blue team to the right. So I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, goal. I think that's it.
Yeah. Got him. Hopefully spring us off land with a dagger.
Alright, so we had a little bit of, first of all, good reaction to contact, boys. So Zoomorg obviously spawned the wrong one, and it was hilarious, but good reaction to contact. We got up there pretty quickly. 3rd squad, because this was not actual in-team bounding here. This was not I'm up, you're down. Because you had a large base of fire, so you had 1st squad all along here. Your job is, as the maneuver element, is to move quickly between cover, only firing if you have to, and get up to that actual bunker instead of just firing, I'm up, he sees me, I'm down, because you already have a large suppressive fire, a large volume of suppressive fire going down on that target. So do you guys understand that? Any questions about what just happened there? Any questions at all about what just happened?
I think I described what went wrong. I think people were confused about who was the base of fire and who was going for
Yeah,
bunker.
I'm sorry about that. I really should have. I was planning on telling you that beforehand, except Zoomork spawned the wrong one, and that was a little fast. So
it was pretty clear. You said 1 is base of fire, 3 is moving right, and 3 all went left for some reason. I have no idea why.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that either.
It's fine. Shit happens under fire. We can see how that happens. I mean, this is good experience, though. Sometimes squad leaders get it wrong a little bit, and we have to reorganize. And we did at the end there. I ended up stopping it because, before we wasted every single round of ammunition we had, they were pretty well suppressed there. Good fire on target. That was good effect on target. You still actually left a couple alive, but you were suppressing them. If they had been, real people, you were suppressing them very effectively. So that's kind of the concept of base of fire element while we have another one moving in. Okay, now we are going to. Yeah, go ahead.
Does it depend, like base of fire being a larger element than the element that's moving, or vice versa?
It depends. Generally, that's going to be the makeup of the squad. A lot of times when you're doing it inside squads, weapon squad with their 7.62 machine guns are going to be the base of fire element because they're able to achieve better actual effect on target from a longer range. But it changes. It can be who is small. Sometimes if if you think you need more personnel to actually attack the target, the weaker element will act as base of fire because you will actually need more people in there. It all depends on what kind of weapons you have, where it is. That is more of a squad leader's decision, which element becomes the actual base of fire and which element becomes the actual assault element. Okay, now I am going to throw it to any of the other instructors here who have comments, criticism, concerns about anything that happened or anything they want to add to this course, and then we'll start our, we'll finish off with our retreating and breaking contact.
Now, just
all right.
One thing based off the fucking, since we're going to be talking about retreating now, when do you pop smoke?
Never.
There's very few specific times where it's okay to pop smoke as an individual.
When someone's hit?
I wouldn't.
When taking heavy fire?
If you guys have any questions or comments,
if you have been ordered to retreat,
I wouldn't, only on track attention.
If you have been ordered to retreat and ordered to pop smoke, yes, then you pop smoke. You don't pop smoke because you feel you're taking heavy fire. Because the only thing you do when you're trying to assault something and you start popping smoke is you make it a fuck ton harder for the base of fire to do anything, and you obscure pretty much anything, marking your own position for the enemy. There is no good point to popping smoke when you are trying to assault something. The only time it's a good idea is if you're trying to get away from someone. Okay?
Well,
cool.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good point. When we are doing, we're gonna. I want to make sure we'll throw it around the horn here to make sure that none of the squad leaders or any of the other instructors have anything else they'd like to add to this class, or that, or anything they want to talk about when they were actually fighting. Anything else, and then we'll move into the last phase of this class. So anybody, anything else? All right. Okay. So we're gonna go over a couple things here: breaking contact or retreating, and the concept of peeling away from actual danger. Now, when you are going through a breaking contact, you are generally, when you are, the decision whether or not to break contact is not at the fire team level, so we will be not really teaching that concept here. We are going to be teaching what happens when you are either ordered to break contacts or are utterly overwhelmed, essentially. So just what happens when you have to break contact with an enemy force that is superior to your unit or for whatever other reason. And generally the overall idea is to try and keep some fire towards where the enemies are coming, especially if they are human enemies, especially if it's a TVT. You know, the AI gets less freaked out about incoming fire than actual regular people would. So there's that. Yeah.
So basically, what you
I'm
just said
kind of
was
instructing here.
basically-
We're going to have to hold this question for later.
Oh, sorry.
You are to put a couple of, try and keep some suppressive fire. You're not obviously looking for aimed shots. You're just trying to keep it in area targets, while you are at the same time transitioning in the direction you wish to break contact as fast as you can. And I want to hit on that point. Direction you wish to break contact, because that is not always directly behind you. If you are more likely to actually be safer if there's a hill, if there's a large sandbags, if there is something that will provide you better cover and a block between you and the force that you are trying to get away with, then going to your right might be the best idea. Breaking contact is moving away from the enemy force that is attempting to engage and destroy you, not necessarily always moving to your rear, though it happens. So if I can toss it over to one of the other instructors quickly to start us, kind of just give us a basic of movement behind here. I'm going to grab some stuff here.
You mean how to break contact? The movement, how to break contact?
Well, we'll go over the whole thing, but I'd like to, if one of you guys could go over just quickly movement between targets while under fire, that kind of thing. Falling back behind, you know, using cover here. That's the whole concept. Just talk more about fucking breaking contact while I deal with something,
so
alright?
basically we're applying the same concept of fires and maneuver that we apply when we are offensive in the retrograde, when we're trying to break contact, when we're trying to withdraw or delay the enemy. So we're basically bounding backwards, right? So if we're breaking contact, and let's imagine we were at this sandbag wall over there, you know, then you would initiate, if we're just a squad and we have 2 fire teams, you would initiate and bound backwards, have one fire team bound to this red car, maybe, while the other one maintains a base of fire, while the other one supports the other's withdrawal by fire. And as soon as they can occupy the car, the other fire team will bound backward, maybe go as far as down there to the next sandbag wall, while the other fire team obviously maintains overwatch, or if there's actually enemy engaging you, you know, suppressing that enemy. And then at some point it might be advantageous to actually have your squad leader making that decision, obviously, to pop that smoke to obscure the enemy's vision onto your withdrawal. And then, as Aquafresh mentioned, it might be advantageous to also change direction so the enemy's not able to easily pursue you, because you will most likely use the direct observation on you when you obscure him with smoke.
Okay.
And then basically we're trying to use that fire maneuver technique we use in the offensive also in the defensive withdrawal.
Right, and another part of this, which is this is very similar to actually breaking contact, is more running than shooting. That is generally the rule. You put down some fire to indicate, oh, he's still in that position, but more running than shooting. The whole idea is to break contact, not actually engage the enemy. Peeling is a little bit more shooting than running. And the concept of peeling is that you are going to be going towards one direction in your squad line. This is going to be easiest if I can get all of our squad leaders up with the instructors, and we'll try and do a little short squad peel. We'll probably move up to the sandbags just right ahead of us. But the concept is to keep heavy fire on the front while you move away from the actual enemy. So I will, Godhand, why don't you act as the squad lead, and we'll all fall in behind you.
Well, wait, I was just untangling my cord. What do you say?
We're gonna do a peel, quick peel, Aussie peel.
Oh, okay.
So if we'll form our line. Okay, hey, we're moving forward. If you can act as a squad lead real quick. I mean, I can do it if you can't.
But... just confirm, Aussie peel. You mean if you have contact front,
landing off to the right, yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll need a call for that, though.
You can do it from a line too.
I mean, like an Indian sprint sort of thing, where we one by one go.
Well, what happens is in a peel, because so if we take contact front,
he's teaching that too.
He will go a little bit diagonally behind, where he can then open up on the enemy.
Always need
Then
refresh
the next
courses.
guy on the line starts falling backwards diagonally, so he'll be moving off to the right and behind
Dogs, hey.
while we can still maintain fire to the front. That's
Hey
the
dude,
concept of the peel.
right here.
So just keep falling
Hey, did you contact me about that presentation in docs?
Can you shut the fuck up about another things? We are here for training.
Yeah, well, right now they're not talking to you.
Yeah,
now shut pay attention.
I'm telling you about peel on a line from
Clear comms.
No, he's okay for now. As soon as
That's essentially what I'm doing.
But he's fine.
Fuck is this guy to tell people to shut up?
Alright, well.
He's just trying to keep.
Oh well.
We can do either one of them.
They
If you
aren't
want to do
in
the
a huge
opposite, that's
conversation
fine.
over here. When they come over.
Keep it short and simple. I just, you know, in order to break contact, I would just recommend to just bound backwards to the next stop. Speed it up as soon as you...
Keep it simple. Well, I wanted to go over a peel. Let's at least give the demo here. So, contact front, let's start peeling left. Suppressive fire! Yeah, I did say left.
This is what happens when you try to demonstrate with people where you haven't told them what you want them to demonstrate.
Why is there a guy behind us shooting?
So that didn't work out exactly as we were trying to deal with it. We kind of got a little confused, but the concept is that there's a difference between trying to break contact and run away from the enemy, so you're just shooting a little bit and maneuvering, and actually peeling backwards, running away from contact while engaging heavily. That's I'm slipping this in just off the top of my head, so this was not exactly planned for. But I think what we're going to do here is I want to move... God, that's going to be such a clusterfuck if we all run up there. That's the issue. Trying to figure out how we can have everybody peel back.
Just assign each squad their own little objective nearby and have them assault and peel back on their own.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to do that. If there's any way, Zoomwork, that you can drop, and I'll emphasize this, an unoccupied bunker over to the southeast.
I can drop one with friendly infantry, definitely.
Well, we're actually going to have these guys shooting. So off to the southeast, kind of up on that hill over there.
Would not shoot back. So.
That would make us team killers.
Eventually they
make them
team
shoot
killers,
back.
and I will ban you all if you team kill.
I don't think there is empty stuff in
yes,
there.
there is.
Remen, just
almost
put
on
them
the
down.
top of the list. I already placed 2 empty camps.
I'm
One to the
Just
northwest
put one
and one
off
to
to
the
the right.
southeast.
Here's what we're going to do. Okay, so one squad gets the bunker to the northeast. You're going to bound up to it, take contact, and then break contact back towards here. So your endpoint, one squad's endpoint is this truck, but it's also your begin point. It's just up and back. 2 squad is going to do the same thing with the middle bunker. 3 squad is going to do the one with the bunker that's going to be placed on the far right. Does everybody understand that?
They could just use the artillery pit.
Stay firm.
F the artillery pit. I want a bunker.
Okay.
Well,
I'll put it up there. Let me see if I can.
Just put an
Can we
ops
go on
bunker.
channel
We'll
2
just
maybe?
take it out.
Because then it's probably better for us.
What about channel 3?
Second squad.
Everybody's on channel 3. Channel 2 is taking
Yeah,
second squad.
Which John 1
Channel 2?
3.
No, we're on channel 3.
Oh, there it is.
Charlie.
We're on channel 3.
Aztec radio check.
Hey, can we move it over? Yeah, there it is. No.
Loud and clear.
Okay.
Check.
Where's this
So
bunker
1,
here?
2, 3 squad leaders. You see your bunkers? 1, 2, 3. Make sure we move up to there. You're not expecting. You're not. You know, we're not bounding under fire, so we don't see any enemies when we move over there. Then suddenly a whole platoon pops out, and we got to break contact back towards here.
Alright, okay,
so
that's
two,
bunker directly
two
to our
squad,
southeast.
Your
Red squad is missing our
objective is
AR.
the middle bunker. Your start and end point is the red car. And 3 squad, your start and end point is wherever the fuck you are right now.
Kyle, 1-3 is over on the right.
Red team to the left.
Right here.
Red team to the left.
Okay, we're 3 squad.
Go just confirm our bunker is the one towards the southeast behind the red building.
Orange 2.
Negative. Your bunker is the farthest to the right. It is northeast from here. Do you see it's behind the, what's it called?
Fertility pit.
No enemy in area.
See it's behind the Bertum?
Yep. Gotcha.
Okay, that's your target. This is your start and end point, so just, we're going to take this off. We're going to do it all at the same time. Okay, everyone, this is going to be a little bit of a clusterfuck because we're going to be doing it all at the same time.
Charlie team, I want squad column, fire team wedge, red team in front, heavy left, blue team in the rear, heavy right. Copy that.
You in a man.
Alpha team.
Red heavy left.
Point.
Alright, Zach.
Team will be in reserve with myself.
Our objective is the bunker.
Yeah. 2 row.
Directly to 045. We're going to be advancing on the bunker and occupying it. We'll be moving off in present formation.
John, did you say
once we get closer, we're going to start bounding forward until we ready to assault the objective.
Okay, we're initiating.
Squad column and fire team wedge.
Start it.
Get going.
Copy that.
Yeah, you have our endpoint.
Blue, we are heavy left, not heavy right. Zach, move across. There we go.
Hang on guys, hang on, where are you going?
Okay.
No.
No, just stay in formation guys.
Yeah, hold on. Well, you call it when we're going to round or what?
Right, red team, move forward as we walk.
Moving. B team that way, take point. NX.
Contact front, contact front!
Yeah.
Keep moving.
Northwest. Thank you. Keep moving. Come on in. 2x2.
Blue shift right. Maintain the calm guys.
2x2s meaning 2 of you at a time.
This is not bounding.
No, I know it's not bounding. Right, under fire, contact northeast. Red team in line on northeast. Blue team on line to the right. Contacts northeast, red team.
Where are you going?
Blue team, get online. Red team, blue team, we're going to be bounding forward towards the bunker. Red team is going to support, blue team are going to maneuver. Red team, you ready?
Red team.
Blue team ready?
Blue team ready.
Blue team move.
Blue, bounding.
Short bounds.
Blue set.
Red team moving.
Red shifting.
Red team, hold there. Red team, hold there. We're going to break contact. Blue team, I want you to start pulling back. Red team, keep suppressive fire on the bunker.
Bounding. Blue, fall back.
Blue team, crawl in position.
Blue, not set. Blue, now set.
Red team, move.
Red team, bound backwards.
Holy shit, who's M2?
Red team, keep falling back,
Keep falling back, red team, keep falling back. When you're in position, call set.
Blue, keep moving fire.
Blue team, start moving.
Every 3 seconds.
Pull back.
Red team set. Blue, move back. Blue set.
Blue, keep holding up, keep sustaining fire.
Red team, bound backwards.
Red team, move back if you can move. start moving.
Blue, move.
Blues. Blue set. Red team, pull back, pull back.
Ceasefire.
Red team, ceasefire, ceasefire. Blue team, ceasefire.
Apologies for the fuck up.
No, don't worry
My
about
fault.
it. I mean, it wasn't clear. So after you guys realized that you're supposed to break contact, that looked pretty good.
Yeah, good reaction from an assault to a retreat. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you too.
Sorry?
Just assume there was initially only an enemy fire team in the bunker, and then you saw the BTR-90 popping up behind it.
About hour ago.
Let's assemble in
Ah,
the center
circle up
here,
on the red car. On the red car, guys.
Red car.
Aztec?
There. So I assume he was here, but he's not here either.
No, he just got. I saw his message.
He disconnected?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a
I'm gonna go
nice
deal
soldier,
with
short
Godhand
shit,
and Mark, just kind of give him a little bit of a
he was
concluding
kinda
thing here. I'll be
useful
back in a
short
sec.
Chevy.
He's
We're gonna do anything else. Can I have more bullets?
Not quite that swift.
Ramon, can I ask you something real quick about this just now, or do I need to wait?
Yeah, go ahead.
When retreating, is it jogging or sprinting? Yeah, it's jogging or sprinting.
Always a little situation dependent, but if you have to break contact very fast, and the enemy's likely to pursue fast, obviously you want to gain speed. As soon as you're able to suppress him and gain speed, and then quickly disengage so you gain the distance between them. Ideally, obviously, you gain so much distance that they're not able to pursue you at all, or not even know where you are suddenly anymore. It's actually the ideal case.
Yeah, but like in this situation we created just now, was it then ideal for to sprint or jog? I thought lots of people jogging, but I think if we need to retreat...
Oh, enemies northwest! Bunch of enemies!
Where?
Northwest.
Those are...
Wow.
Wow, nice IDing there, by the way. That was a bunch of friendlies.
Know who's friendlies?
Friendly.
Hey, know who team kills now?
I have to go.
Those are
It's been
friendlies,
going a little
dude.
too
They
long.
have backpacks.
We know
Alright,
who
who's
team
that?
kills now.
Aztec.
Aztec, alright. Thank you very much. I hope you had a good time. I'll let Aqua know that you actually... I think it's basically...
Don't worry about him, guys. Don't
apart
worry
from the
about him.
FTX.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think I already know all this stuff as well. I've been with you for a while, so... Yeah.
They're not shooting.
Alright, well,
Cool.
have fun,
Alright,
guys.
Aztec. It's been a pleasure.
Yep, there are some enemies out there.
Yeah, they're engaging the friendly unit that's out there.
Hey, one sandbags, guys.
They're not firing. They are not firing.
You see tracers.
Yeah, they're firing on the. God damn it! Just don't fucking worry
Check
about
fire,
it.
check fire.
They're firing at the friendlies, don't shoot.
Jesus
Form up on the
Christ! It's a
sandbags in
fucking
front of us.
friendly squad with enemies engaging them. Let's get back to the lesson.
The tracers are friendly, they just bounce off for some reason or on something.
No, there's enemies out there, but they're in the fucking woods engaging those friendlies.
Yeah, not sure what happened there.
Oh, what the fuck?
2 kills, whoa.
Maybe it's from the RTO group.
The RTO group
I got
is
shot.
gonna teach how to.
Okay, see.
I shot two guys.
Shut the hell up. Alright, this is the end of the course here. I will take attendance. I have to go over this with Jackson to make sure that we get our tags correctly. There were some better things, some worse things. I had hoped to do a FTX here, but it looks like we have too much going on. If anybody's killed, they can, you know, we're disconnecting, we're ending the simulation here. I will be around for at least another half an hour to Godhand. I think you're hot micing. I will be around for at least another half an hour, so will several of the other instructors to answer any questions that you have after the course. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. As we said, Jackson's internet completely destroyed itself, and he's actually been having problems with it recently. And we are going to be... so we had to pick this up pretty quickly and teach. A lot of us had to teach this out the back of our head. So thanks for bearing with us here. We had some issues that went forward. I really would have liked to do an FTX so we could solve some of the problems that we saw, but otherwise I think a lot of you picked it up, understood what we were doing. This is a basic level course, but I hope that most of you have this has contributed to your knowledge of how what is expected of you on the primary and how is the best way to go about doing it. So that's it from me. If any of the other instructors have comments. All right, everybody I need you to hold on for a second so I can finish taking attendance here.
So like, I was wondering like a shuffling, do you only do that when it's called upon by your squad leader or party team leader? Or you understand?
Yeah, I mean, it varies. The actual, I mean, if you're under contact and you're receiving no instructions from your squad leader, see, I have to try and protect people from the actual ability of poor squad leading. If you are under fire and you are the fire team leader and you think that it is called for under the scenario, you can do it. But otherwise, you know, try and avoid it.
May I chip in just one thing?
Yeah, sure.
As the fire team leader, yes, and even if you do it, let your squad leader know what you're doing. Don't just start running around and let your squad leader figure out what you're doing later. And as a rule of thumb, don't do things that you're not asked to do, like pop up smoke or, you know, run towards the contact or so on and so forth.
Never put yourself in a more dangerous situation than you were.
Yeah. I try to keep it so that people aren't actually, you know, don't take this is a higher level thing, but if you are just in a fire team, obviously, if you're just a member, you don't fucking initiate that kind of a thing. If you are a fire team lead and you are not receiving any orders and you are in imminent danger of actually killing yourself and you think that you will be better served by that. This is all, you know, making decisions, tactical decisions in combat, and you think you're going to be saved by moving, yes. Do so. But you know, generally though, on the server, you're going to have your squad leader commanding you to do X, Y, or Z. If he says move over to that way, this is only if you're a fire team leader. If you are just a regular ass fire team member, you're not making any of these decisions, unless people are killed. You are not.
Well, I would be inclined to disagree with that. As an individual, you decide which tree to go to.
No, oh yeah, obviously, but and in an individual fire team, as you know, a part of a buddy team, you're going to be choosing which cover to go to, but you're not going to be deciding to bound forward. Yes. You're not going to be deciding to shuffle. Once called upon, now you decide, okay, what's the best way for me to accomplish this? So you have kind of your area of responsibility in that kind of tree. Okay, what's the best way for me to get there? The platoon leader decides what's the best loadout disposition of my squads and movement of those squads to get all of their weapons onto the objective. The squad leader is saying, okay, under this movement plan, what's the best way to push my men to have the most effect on the objective? The fire team leader says, okay, I got to clear out this house. What's the best way for me to clear out this house? And you as an individual say, what's the best way for me to move in through this door? Am I primary, secondary, when I'm clearing through, that kind of stuff. So you can understand how everybody has kind of their way that they are, what they're looking at to make those decisions, and it just rolls downhill so that your lower level leaders are making those small decisions, because a platoon leader could not possibly make all of the small decisions that need to be made to control everyone.
Yeah.
If I may touch on the topic of peeling versus shuffling,
we kind of screwed that up. The definition that I was taught is that peeling is any movement where there is significant suppressive fire towards a target while you are moving away from that target, regardless of whether you're on a line, you're moving diagonally, or you're moving straight back.
Yes, and it comes in two forms. It comes in lateral peeling, the most common one, or the so-called Aussie peel, which does not apply to armor. That's where you go dick to ass, and you got one behind one another.
Way.
But again, that relies on the hedgehog formation, where you are back to chest and you have all guns outwards, that you often use in urban combat, but does not apply to armor.
All right, so I had some questions from some people here. I'm trying to look at them. Does anybody have other questions about what's happened in the class? I'm looking at some of these that were sent here. Okay, I have some more specific things about tags and whatnot. But anybody who has questions about the class, now is that time.
What happens when your fire team leader just isn't effective, and they're not leading, they're not really sure on what to do?
Unfuck yourself.
Yeah, we respect the chain of command here, but if there's somebody who has no idea what to do, first of all, I would try and sit down and say, hey, you don't seem like you know what you're doing, I'm willing to take over here. And believe it or not, that works 8 or 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, that's true. It usually does.
So just
make sure that special gear is handed over in that situation.
Exactly.
Got a follow-up question.
Many missions have one map and one radio per team, you know.
So make sure I understand, but you know, if you feel that you are more capable and your squad or team leader, don't run up to him and say, "I'm taking over here." Just ask him, and 9 times out of 10, it'll be perfectly fine. They will have bitten off more than they can chew before they realized it. I would really like to lower the times that happens on the primary. I will be working hard to try and do that, but if it does happen, ask first, then talk to higher ups.
Yeah, it happened to us while we were rounding. You know, Deathway is a good guy and everything, but you know, he just seemed kind of lost. So I ended up having to get Green Team up with me, and then let them know that we were going to identify ourselves by user ID, and then bound that way. And I just took over the radio chatter.
Okay, well, using the user ID thing is really not ideal. I guess theoretically you could do it, but you know, generally try and in your buddy teams, with your battle buddy, or in your fire teams, identify that way.
So we should have been buddy A, they should have been buddy B.
Well, you could do either one. You could say team 1 or team 2. I mean, theoretically, you could just call it out. You know, whatever the fuck works, but try not to get bogged down in this specific person and that specific person are moving at this time. It should be a quick call on the radio so you don't bog down comms.
Understand.
All right, other questions about coursing and things? Yeah.
Like, if you're bounding, and in the middle of the bound, your buddy gets shot down. So how do you react?
Keep moving.
You are responsible for your buddy. If it's a random shot, if you are under a fusillade of fire, you need to get to cover first and then return for your buddy. If it is just kind of a couple random shots, try and drag him out of the line of fire, get to somewhere else. Because you are bounding, you have the other 2 members of your fire team are in support. So if he gets shot, those other 2 members of your fire team should now be putting down suppressive fire from where the shots came from. So your responsibility is to stay alive and then treat him. However, it is your responsibility to treat him when you can.
So if you just that situation actually happened on the last exercise that we had, where one of the teams, as they started to withdraw, one of the guys was shot. So
I don't know who shot
communicated.
Him. I wasn't shooting you people.
Yeah, he was.
It was one of the other instructors.
I was working with Godhand about it, and he couldn't get the guerrilla forces to shoot at us, so he spawned a shit ton too many.
It was a good experience because as long as we kept the communication up within the team, we had the other team maintain suppressive fire.
Exactly.
The other guys had already started to move back, so it was a case of going over to the injured person and saying, "Look, could you walk? Just run. I don't give a fuck if you're bleeding. Just run. Get back to a safer position, and then continue the bound back."
Yeah. So
that note as well. If you hear people say shoot, 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 then do so.
Doc's here. Yeah, if I had been wounded, I would have just sat tight and let the squad do what the squad does. But since I was KIA and things were pretty confusticated, I decided not to join in progress.
Well, that's fine. If you were shot and killed and during the last exercise, that's not a big deal. You don't have to immediately get back in. We wouldn't have even been able to get you back from where you respawned.
Roger that.
For a little while, so that's perfectly fine. But you know, understanding the way that works, kind of remember if you're getting just lit up by a machine gun, get to fucking cover, and then reassess the situation, see if you actually could get to your buddy or whether you're gonna have to leave him for a while until you can get back to it. It's far better to have one dead guy and one alive guy than 2 wounded guys.
And
so don't leave your guy
sniper
behind, but there are times when you are going to have to in order to preserve the squad.
Okay.
If I was wounded, I would have stayed there. I respawned in. I was in the hangar. I disconnected.
That's fine. It's fine.
Touching on this as well, keep in mind which mission you're playing on the primary, because some of them have revive. If there is revive, do not leave people behind.
No, exactly.
Make every effort towards recovering them.
I should clarify this. I'm not saying leave them behind overall, but if you have to win a firefight to be able to access your buddy, you may have to win a 2-minute firefight.
On occasion, some people are forgotten, you know.
Yeah. So, you know, always kind of, squad leaders should be doing accountability checks. That's a squad leader level kind of fuck up. But you should be able to, you should go ahead and, if it's at all possible, recover your man. But if you have to win a firefight, if you have to actually engage something to be able to recover your man, you're going to have to do that first. It's not necessarily, I used to see it more, it's maybe not quite as, I see people running around casualties constantly. There should be 2 people dealing with a casualty. His battle buddy and the medic. That's pretty much it. Everybody else needs to be on security. So, other questions?
I got a question regarding that revive and respawn crap. Are there any missions on the primary server where like JIP is enabled, but you're not supposed to actually JIP?
Well,
No.
vehicle activities are the only ones where it's really frowned upon.
Yeah, everything else is generally, I mean, try not to, I personally, I don't like to jip in on TBTs at all. I would suggest the same to you, but, you know, mainly if a mission has jip enabled, you may have to walk a long way, but generally it's not a problem.
Yeah, in that regard, if you go on UO.net, there's a button called Mission List. Go there, see what kind of JIP the mission has.
I just
usually it
around
says
in the waiting room till the next game. It's usually not very long, and sometimes the discussions can be quite good.
Usually it says in the mission briefing when you're in the slotting screen if it has JIP. It's just, I've gone on a server where the mission had JIP, it was enabled, but if you did it, everybody yelled at you.
Don't know what that was.
Sure, but
I'd need
again,
more
vehicle
specifics.
activities.
So, anyways, any other questions here? If anybody has questions about the tags here, I have the attendance at the end of the course. I will be getting it to Jackson. If you are going to be at my fire team leaders course, I should be able to check in with Jackson either today or tomorrow before the course, which means that I will be able to assign you your tag if you are in my fire team leader course and you have completed this fire team operations course. So just try and this is a lower level course. I would wager a guess that this is going to be the last time, maybe not the last time, but close to one of the last times that the course will be done in this format. We are currently going through a completely different format that is a lot more practical, application based. So we'll be able to build on it, and it's going to be of a different. It's not going to be quite the way it has been. So it's it should be, you know, we'll see what it looks like. But we're going through a bit of a transition period in UOTC, and this class is one of the things I would essentially almost guarantee that it's going to look different the next time you take it.
I have a question.
Are we going to have to requalify, or are we going to be fine?
That is still being talked about. I argue against, but we'll see what happens.
I have a question if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
I'm
for qualifiers for this course.
And Mark is going to have to requalify for this course.
Yeah, I'm quite new to the whole ARMA and the whole ACE system and everything like that. Is there a way to do drills to get the formations and everything in my head? I mean, these classes are nice. I like them, but I need more drills. So if people have time to set aside, I'd like to be able to do something like that.
Toadball is organizing them sometimes.
Toadball sessions are very, very good.
Toadball is running fire team practice sessions every now and again.
About every 2 weeks.
Yeah, they're thoroughly recommended.
You can also always retake Famil or this course to get a little bit more practice in it. I think you'll find that you're able to learn on the primary server while it happens. Again, if you think you're new, oh, I don't know too much about this, tell your fucking squad lead. That's the thing that I get annoyed about, is when somebody doesn't know what they're doing and he doesn't give me any idea that he doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, usually I can figure it out earlier, but then we run into contact and he has no idea what I'm talking about. That's a problem. Knowing that someone has some issues understanding what the language, how we're going to do things, I am perfectly fine, you know, explaining a little bit, you know, leaving him with a buddy who knows what he's doing, that kind of stuff. So just, you know, keep him aware. I think you'll find that you're able to deal with this. You're kind of learn your roles. The biggest problem that I run into here that I'm trying to teach for is that I cannot provide you with the same level of leadership that you will receive on the server, in the sense that they're going to be very shitty squad leaders, they're going to be shitty team leaders, they're going to be great ones, and it's going to be different each time, and a lot of people are taught differently about the way that formation should be made up, how they should be. They use the basic format, but some people can change them. So just kind of, you're going to have to kind of learn with the flow. There are in the the beginner's guide, I believe he's got a bunch of those laid out. So if you look at Hellhounds, the beginner's guide, so that'll be fine. So there's a lot of stuff.
If you're talking about various TONEs as well, I mean, Russian squad, for example, you have leader, senior, 2 riflemen, a 2-man MG team, and a 2-man RPG team. And that's very flexible. If you look at the 14-man Israeli squad, then that's even more flexible. That has 3 or 4 different ways you can organize it, but that depends on the experience of those using it.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, there are a number of, I mean, it shows up, the Israeli not as much, but obviously because we have a number of op formations here, you can see the Russian one a little bit more. Although I went over the 3 that are really most common on the server, which is U.S. Army, U.S. Marine Corps, and then British/Canadian.
Commonwealth.
Commonwealth, yes, that's the correct term, really. So yeah, those are the, you know, I actually didn't go over mechanized infantry squads, which show up sometimes. You know, U.S. armored cab squads are significantly smaller, and a number of different countries have smaller, obviously because you have to mount in an armored vehicle, which means that you also have a driver and a commander. Sometimes you'll have, generally you'll have the squad leader being the commander of the vehicle, and his 2 ICs, the dismount lead. These are all things that are a little bit more advanced that, you know, you can always look up on our forums or, you know, on Wikipedia, but, you know, it's less cultural when on our server a lot. Really, what I have to stress is when you're playing on primary server, ask questions.
You have 50% outbound packet loss, and no one can understand you.
Yep.
Alright, never mind then.
That's better.
5-5.
Guys, I've got to go. Thank you very much. It's a very enjoyable experience. Aquarage, we'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, sure, whenever, man. I actually am going to, I have promised people that we were going to do some sort of, if anybody wants to come up to the primary, we are going to try and do some TAC Tuesday missions, significantly more on the ball, as it were.
One question before you go.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I had Ace and Acre all set up from my previous clan, but we never really used it. Question about communications. Now, when we had broken up into squads to gear up, I was still hearing like half a dozen voices, and I didn't know my fire team. I didn't know Luis's voice, and I had another guy calling, Docs, over here. No idea where to...
Well, there are a couple of things. Here's a couple of things that you want to use here. First of all, when you first use Acre, it is a little disorienting to be able to understand, especially how to work in large groups.
With radios, it's fine, but when it's in the clear, wow.
Okay, so that's something that you just kind of have to, you will adjust to it. You're going to have to understand that because a lot of our missions don't have everyone with a radio. So the other thing that really helps with that is the Shack Tac HUD.
I got that. Yeah, absolutely. That's a different thing.
Squad leaders will assign, they will assign colors on there, which will help.
Oh, I got that too, sir.
Okay, you understand that concept then.
But the question was, when there's a group of people and lots of voices and somebody hollers out, Docs, over here, that doesn't help.
Okay, well, that's something that...
It should be directional.
Yeah, it's directional, which means that you're going to be able to hear them whether or not, if I yell, Docs over here or on me, it's a little bit easier to understand that I'm to your south, other than, it shifts around in your perception of what you're hearing. That's the way that Acre really helps out. Try that, again, that's something that you will get used to.
If we attack this from a different angle, are you running 7.1 radio channels?
Everything is just fine. I turn in the direction, I see 6 people, I have no idea who's calling out to me. That's just bad comms.
Okay, well, this
just
is
run over there and see where it leads you.
Generally,
well, you also have to learn your squad leader's voice, your fire team leader's voice, and
a little
that's
bit
part
of
the game.
That is part of the game. It's a little bit of that, but this is a little bit more chaotic than normal. There are some times when everybody's going to be grouped together like that, but generally use the Shack Tac to see kind of where your squad leader is going. It's generally never wrong to follow your squad leader when you're in a big messed up situation. It's also generally not quite as ridiculous. When you spawn in on missions, you're generally grouped with your squad leaders, and not so many people are talking. You will only have your squad leader, you will only have your fire team leaders talking. And if there are far too many people talking, that needs to be clamped down on. So the idea is, it will take some time to get used to that. Sometimes people are going to yell out. I can't be responsible for the way that everyone starts talking on the server, but it will be crazy like that sometimes, especially under fire, which means that you just kind of have to be able to roll with the flow here, use clues either from the loadout, what people are carrying, the marks on the Shack Tac, that kind of stuff, to get who is calling for you and who isn't. It's, again, it's never too big of a deal to run towards the voice that's calling to you and say, okay, what the fuck's going on here? So just kind of keep your head on straight and try and figure out exactly where they're coming from. So that's about, I really do think that you will find it significantly easier when you just kind of put it in practice.
Yeah,
Docs, this is X-Ray, come to me. It's that simple.
Yeah, if you need to talk, just separate yourself from others. I have 2 more questions, short ones. I didn't catch what is the name of 2 types of target column, and another question, will I get my tags if I didn't have familiarization, but I completed it twice?
Is there a reason you don't have a familiarization tag?
Yeah, both time there was unofficial. But I'm playing for a long time and I'm pretty sure I know all basic stuff.
Well, I'm not going to be able to make that decision, but poke or send Jackson a message later about getting your familiarization. I will consider that. You know, Jackson is going to consider whether or not you're going to get that. So, you know, we'll deal with that a little bit later. You were asking about the staggered column, which people use closed and open. Generally, Godham was also talking about something I consider a little bit more confusing. He kind of phrased it a little confusing, at least I thought, which was a squad staggered column. He liked to have it specifically so that one fire team was on the left and one fire team was on the right. I think that you can accomplish that pretty quickly without, he had some sort of way that he was saying, and I think you can accomplish that pretty quickly without actually going into that, or I don't really care if the squad is on the left or on the right. You know, a squad staggered column is not going to be, I am not somebody who puts a lot of weight on formations, because no formation is going to shoot the enemy. No formation is going, it makes it significantly easier for movement. So when we have to cover some serious ground or move into position, I'll say everybody get into a staggered column, we're going to move out, or a ranger file, we're going to move out. But I'm not going to keep everybody in perfect marching band harmony while we're doing that. So it's easy if I think we're going to move up to the crest of a hill and engage an enemy on the other side. Obviously, you want to put it in a line so that I'm able to bring all my guns on target easily. But that's not going to shoot the enemy, and it's not going to... I place less importance on that. I'll make sure that people understand what we're engaging and how to move towards it regardless. I just... Closing in is I think, if I remember correctly, it was closed and open staggered columns. Closed being
enclosed.
Smaller yet. Enclosed. Is that what he's... Because I wasn't there for it.
You use the word enclosed.
Enclosed.
Because you use it in enclosing terrain.
Yeah. Real tight areas. So yeah, closing it up, making sure that you're, you know, closer to your actual people in very tight urban terrain. Or a enclosed, so enclosed staggered column, open staggered column.
The two types are whether you're looking inwards or you're looking outwards. If you're in enclosing terrain, you'll want to be looking inwards, because then you have more range to the targets that you're going to be shooting at, i.e. the other side of the street, for example.
Yeah, it's just the first time that I heard about this type of staggered columns, and I found it out very cool and useful.
It's not very useful in armor.
Yeah, it really isn't.
The reason that you do this in real life, I mean, when I joined the military, there was a meter of snow everywhere. And the reason that you use staggered columns and it's because you have decent force concentration without having to walk through the snow. You can stay on the road, you know.
So that's the idea. Anyways, I'm gonna go try and get this
concerns in armor.
Tech Tuesday organized, so I'll be off.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I wonder how many people